Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of Let's Play Pioneers. Last two times we've played on Seafarers with Gold, and in both instances we ended up dying, which was quite sad for us. Now, normally I should take that as a sign that I should stop playing on this particular map type and just change the map type into something different altogether so that we might have a better chance at it. But I am nothing if not a stubborn man, so I have now learned my lesson, and I will continue to play with Seafarers with Gold until I will eventually win and restore my own honor. So that's what we will be doing today. I know that this is a childish thing to do, but I just really want to win. So this time around we'll be playing against AIs named Gorbachev, Bob Dole, and Jesse the Body Ventura. So I guess we will be player number 1. Jessie is player number 0, so she gets the one to start the game off. And Gorbachev and Bob Dole are after us. So let's launch the Pioneer client and let's begin. So yeah, we are on second place. Since we are on second place, we might get to choose a really nice spot for ourselves. Jessie the Body Ventura picked a location on the upper side of the map, on the northern part of the map, which is a section of the map that usually gets untouched by most of the other players. Is it a good idea to go there as well? I don't think that it is. I would say that it's not a good idea. What I will do instead is try to see if I can yeah, let's place our settlement over here to get a lot of to get lumber and grains, because 6 tiles are rolled very often. And let's head. We can either head northward toward this island where Jessie put her first settlement in, or we can move more inland, further inland on the current continent that we're on, to have access to more resources. And I think I will head southward ultimately. I think this is the smart move. They're kind of stealing all the good spots from me though, and I really don't like that. Now we get to place our second settlement. So what do we have access to? Right now we have access to lumber and grains. What we also need additional access to is wool, bricks, and preferably ores if we can help it. But right now we're kind of in a bad spot. Let's move in this direction. Because like I said, I need bricks, I need ores, although there aren't that many ores over here. There's just a mountain tower that will produce ores for us on the 12 number, but the 12 number is so rare that we might as well not even have it at all. But whatever, let's just do it like this. And let's finish up. Okay, so everyone plays their settlements, their starting positions, and now we can begin. So let's roll the die. Roll the dice, I guess, and we rolled a 10. So with this 10 we gave the white player, which is Gorbachev, a wool, and the red player, which is Jesse the Body Ventura, a lumber. So now they each have those resources. We didn't receive anything from rolling at that 10, so let's just move on for now. Okay, so Gorbachev is moving in on our turf, and I think he wants to build a settlement right on this 8 tile, and I really don't like that. Let's try to stop him. Let's place we roll the 7, so we get to move the robber to whatever tile we want to place him on. We will move the robber on this 8 tile so that we can steal 1 resource from Gorbachev, so that we will impede on his progress, because I really don't want Gorbachev to make a settlement on this corner over here. I want to be the one to make an extra road over here connected to this blue settlement of mine, and then make another settlement between this 10, 11 and 12 tile right over here. So let's see if we can do that. I really need more resources for this though, so we're kind of in a bad position. What I really need is first of all, I need to make a road, so I need a brick. And after I make that road, I need another brick to build a settlement. In fact, not just a brick, I will also need a wool for that. So this kind of sucks. We don't have the resources necessary to make the progress that I'm planning on making, but we have to move fast before Gorbachev gets to organize himself. Also, we are just not getting the resources that we want. Like, I don't know what's going on, but nobody is rolling the necessary numbers to give us those bricks that I want, as well as that wool that I need. Okay, we finally rolled ourselves a 6, and the 6 gave us it gave us one brick from this tile right over here, and also a grains from this tile over here. So now with this brick, for now I won't do anything. Actually, can I grab a wool? I want to trade with the other players. What I want is to receive a wool in exchange for grains. Will anyone be willing to do that for me? Oh yes, apparently they are. So we are the red player, which is Jesse the Body Ventura, is willing to give me a wool for a grain, and also Gorbachev is willing to give me a wool for a grain. So I get to pick which one of them I trade with. Let's trade with Jesse, just because I'm not competing against her right now. And now let's just let's build the road right over here, and now we're almost at the point of making a second settlement right over here. But in order to do that, we will need an extra lumber, and which we do not have at this point in time, which is quite unfortunate. Now we rolled that free, and that free gave us a lumber just from this tile. So with this lumber, with a grain, with a brick, and finally with a wool, we will be able to build one extra settlement for ourselves right over here. And because we build this settlement on this corner, Gorbachev cannot build a settlement on this corner, because settlements as well in this game need to be built at a minimum of 2 roads distance from other settlements or from cities, whether they're from the same player or from other players. So because I build my settlement over here, that's only within 1 road distance to the place where he would build his own settlement over here, and that's not allowed. So he cannot build his own settlement, which is quite nice. So because he cannot build his own settlement, he added an extra road segment to divert into the southwest direction right now, so that he can build a settlement over here now, because he can't build it over here anymore, which makes sense. He's really struggling, and I really appreciate Gorbachev's dedication, but I don't know how much he will be able to make it. Now, what's our next plan? Well, first of all, we rolled a 7, so we get to move the robber again. So the robber right now is on this tile. Let's move it. We're constantly competing against Gorbachev, but I think we should start targeting Jesse the Body Ventura, because she has 4 victory points at this point, which is the highest count of victory points that in an entire game. No other player has 4 victory points. Myself, I have 3 victory points, Gorbachev has 2, and Bob Dole also has 3. Jesse is the only one with 4. So we should start targeting her with the robber, so that she doesn't make too much progress further on. Otherwise, we risk losing the game to her. So let's place the robber right on this 9 tile, where Jesse shares the ore resource with Bob Dole. And now I get to steal from either Jessie or Bob Dole. I'll steal from Jessie because she is the one with more points. And I guess I stole a lumber from Jessie, which is quite nice. Now, with all of these resources, the question is, what do we want to do now? What's the long-term strategy for us now? Honestly, I want to build extra settlements. So let's... I want to extend myself in this direction so that I can build more settlements. So let's do that. I just built a road with 1 brick and 1 lumber. Now, in order to build another road, I will need another lumber and another brick. I have the brick, but I don't have the lumber. So let's trade for a lumber in exchange for grains, because that's the only thing I can trade. Nobody's willing to do the trade with me, so I'll do the default 4x1 exchange at the bank, in which you can do any 4 resources of your choice, but which are of the same type, to any other resource of your choice. So I can trade 4 grains, for example, for a lumber, because I have so many grains. So let's do that. And now with this lumber and with my brick, I can start extending myself in another direction. Which should be... can either go this way or this way. Which ones do we want? If we go southward this way, we cannot build a settlement immediately on this corner, because Bob Dole has a settlement right over here, which would only be 1 road distance from our own one, so that's not allowed by the game. We won't be able to build a settlement over there. So we would have then to build another road over here and then build a settlement on this corner instead. Which means that we would need 2 roads in total to get to the point where we can build an extra settlement. Whereas if we go in this direction, we can immediately build a settlement on this corner. There are no restrictions. So let's do that instead. Like that's actually better for us, because it takes less resources to do that, and it's just quicker. Now, in order to build a settlement, I have almost all the resources. The only thing I'm missing is a wool. Now, where can I get a wool? I can get a wool from... I can try to get a wool in exchange for either lumber or grains from the other players. Okay, so we have 2 candidates. Jesse wants to give me a lumber in exchange for a wool. And Bob Dole is also willing to give me a wool in exchange for a lumber. So basically, both Jesse and Bob want lumber, and they are willing to give me wool for it. Now, I don't want to trade anymore with Jessie because she has 5 victory points, so let's trade with Bob Dole instead. So now we have the necessary wool, the last wool necessary to build an extra settlement right over there. So now we have a significant amount of settlements. Each settlement will produce 1 resource when any of the tiles that it is adjacent to will get rolled by the dice in the game by any player. So that's quite nice. Now I have the resources again to build another settlement, but where do I want to build that settlement? We're kind of isolated, because these 2 settlements are isolated from these other 2 settlements, and there's nothing we can really do about that. So instead of worrying about it, let's just try to make more settlements, I guess. Let's head northward. And either we can build... we cannot build a settlement over here. Nor can we build a settlement over here, because both of those cases would be only 2... the settlements would be only 1 road away from my other settlement, so that wouldn't work. So what I can do instead is build a settlement on this corner between the free 8 and 11 tiles, the free mountain tile and the 8 and 11 field tiles. I think they're called fields, right? Yeah, field tiles. So I think that's a sound strategy. Yeah, let's do just that. We're heading up northward. We only have one settlement to build though, so we need to be aware of that. Once we build this last settlement, we won't be able to build any more settlements until we will upgrade one of our existing settlements into a city to re-increase our settlement token count. Because right now we're only at 1 settlement tokens remaining. So with all the resources we have, let's go in this direction. We just need one more brick to build our last settlement over here. So we're making progress. We're at 6 victory points, and now we're competing against Bob Dole, who has the largest score right now, except for me, who also I also have 6 victory points just like him. He has 6 victory points from 4 settlements, which is 1 victory point each, and from the largest army achievement, which he unlocked because he has used free soldiers up until now. And the largest army achievement is worth only 2 victory points. So 4 plus 2 is 6. That makes sense. Now let's build a settlement right over here, but for that we need 1 brick, so let's try to do that. Now we got the brick at some point from someone, so now let's build our last settlement, and as you can see, the settlement token count would drop down to 0 after building this settlement. So from this point on we cannot build any more settlements until we re-increase the settlement token count, and the only way to do that is to upgrade one of our already existing settlements into a city. So we decrease the city token count, but we increase our settlement token count back. Now, to build a city, to upgrade a settlement into a city, we have to use up 2 grains and 3 ores. We only have 1 grain, as you can see, and 2 ores, which is not that great. Okay, now we have 2 grains and 2 ores. Now, I need an extra ore to be able to do the upgrade, so let's see if we can trade for it. So I want a ore in exchange for either a brick, a wool, or a lumber. So Gorbachev is willing to give me 1 ore for 1 brick. I will do the trade with him. And now with this we can upgrade one of our existing settlements into a city. Now which one do we want? That's a really tough question. I kind of want this one to be upgraded. What a city does is that it gives double the amount of resources that a settlement gives you. So whenever someone rolls the number for a tile that a city is adjacent to, that tile will produce 2 resources for each city that it's adjacent to. Whereas it would produce only 1 resource for each settlement of yours that it is adjacent to. So let's upgrade this one, and as you can see, the city token counter went down from 4 to 3, but the settlement token counter went up from 0 to 1. So now we can build an extra settlement again. Now, where we would build that settlement, I don't even know, because we're running out of space on the current board. We're very much constrained by the other settlements of the other players that are around us, and I really don't like that. Okay, so we get to place the robber now. Oh, and I also unlocked the longest road achievement. I didn't even notice that up until now. The longest road achievement, much like the largest army achievement, is worth 2 victory points. So that definitely increased our score. 2 victory points, but where? Ah, it's probably from this road. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 interconnected roads end to end. So this is the reason we have the longest road achievement. Now we rolled a 7, so let's place the robber somewhere. Since we're competing against Bob Dole, who is the second most successful player on the current map, let's compromise Bob just a little bit. So I took some of his resources away from him. Now, apparently, and I could be wrong, but apparently Gorbachev is trying to build an extra settlement on this 3x1 port over here, on this corner. And that's a bit of an unfortunate situation, because I also want to build a settlement on this 3x1 port. 3x1 allows you, building a settlement or a city on a 3x1 port allows you to exchange free resources of the same type for any other resource of your choice, which is more advantageous than the default 4x1 exchange that you can always do, in which you have to give 4 resources of the same type for any resource of your choice. So you generally want to make use of these ports, but if Gorbachev were to build a settlement over here, then I wouldn't be able to build my old settlement over here because it would be too close to it. So this entire 3x1 port will be occupied by him, which would force me to build my own settlement on this 3x1 port. So I don't know if I really want that. Yeah, he just did that. He just built his own settlement on the 3x1 port, and I didn't have the chance to do anything about it. Okay, time for my own revenge. First things first, let's we have a lot of grains. Let's see if we can get an extra war to upgrade one of our settlements into a city. So wars in exchange for grains, lumber, wool, bricks. I am willing to trade a lot because I have a lot of resources. So Gorbachev is willing to give me 1 war for a lumber, which I will graciously accept. And with these 3 wars and with 2 of my grains, I will upgrade this. And now with the current resources that we have, let's I don't know, I don't know, let's go, since we cannot build a settlement on this 3x1 port anymore, let's go for the east toward the 3x1 port instead. So let's extend in that direction. But I'm very certain that Gorbachev will steal my longest road achievement because never mind, he didn't have the chance. Bob Dole won the game. But how did he? He was so far behind score-wise that the fact that he ended up with 10 victory points before me kind of astounds me. So he won the game with 4 settlements, which is 1 victory point each. The largest army achievement, which is 2 victory points. A Pioneer University, which is a special development card that as soon as you play it, it grants you 1 victory point permanently for the rest of the game. 1 Governor's House, which is also a special development card that grants you 1 victory point, 1 permanent victory point for the rest of the game. 1 library that does the same thing. And 1 market that does the same thing. So Pioneer University, Governor's House, Library, and Market, all accumulated give you 4 victory points. So he has been accumulating a lot of development cards throughout this entire game, and he's been hiding them throughout the entire game. And because of this, his victory point counter was always low. But then at the last second, when he got to the point in which he had all the necessary points to win, he used all of his development cards at once in his 1 turn to jump the score from 6 to 10 immediately, and he just won the game that way. It's a very cheap tactic to fool the other players into a false sense of security, but it works and it's legal in this game. So that's quite impressive. I genuinely thought I was going to win. I was 9 victory points. I was only 1 victory point away from winning the game. Had I had 2 more turns, I would have won the game, I'm pretty sure. Although realistically, I believe Gorbachev might have stolen my longest road achievement if he made 1 more road over here, I think. Because then he would have had a road made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 segments, which is longer than my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 segment road. So his road would have been longer, and that would have meant that he would be able to steal my longest road achievement for himself, in which case my victory point count would have dropped again to a lower score. But either way, that's neither here nor there. We didn't make that much progress. I lost once again, so I don't know what I will do next time. Maybe next time I will try to play on a different map after all, but I really don't want to change the map until I win on this one at least once. This time around I played fairly well, it's just that there wasn't enough to give me the victory that I needed yet. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to get in touch with me, I have a Mastodon account as well as a Matrix room that you can join. Details of which you can find in the description of this video. And in the meantime, thank you very much for watching and see you next time.